Today's topic, we're going to be talking about retail sales. Do you ask? Do you recommend? How do you sell retail? Because I get a lot of emails from estheticians saying that they just don't know what to say. And as you know, I sell all the time. For me, hi from Canada. For me, it's very simple to sell, but I think a lot of us just don't understand that we should be talking and having constant conversations with our customers and not really looking at it as selling. If you look at it as selling, it becomes very stressful. And I've always been the type, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what you're using at home. Let's talk about how I can help you with your skincare. Let's talk about how I can help you with your post-wax products, all that good stuff. Second, with you on Periscope. Hi. So, you know, it's really about making sure that what we are doing as estheticians is that we are maximizing what we have. And I really think that we don't ever utilize, we don't utilize what we have as estheticians. So tonight's chat's going to be specifically about retailing, because I know some of you guys actually don't retail at all, which I think is very sad, because retailing is such a quick way to make very simple money, and it's not as hard as trying to convince someone to get an appointment with you. Retailing is actually a little bit easier if you think about it. Most clients want something. They want something tangible they can walk away from when they come see you or talk to you. They want something in their hands. So it's really easier to sell a product to your customer than it is to get them to rebook or to even come in and make an appointment with you. So if you kind of think of it in that way, I always thought of I still think of my business as two parts. So I have my service side and then I have my retail side. In actuality, my retail made more money than the service side because I was able to actually communicate a lot easier with people, even if they didn't want to come in for a service. Because there's a lot of people that ask me via email, friends or family, all that good stuff. What products should I buy? What should I use? What should I do? Whatever. So it's easy to sell. The other part of it is do you actually have conversations with people? Because what I have found is that there's keywords when you're talking about retail that a lot of us don't want to use. We typically don't want to really say exactly what it is we want them to do. We typically will go with the do you want, would you like, what's the other words that I don't use? Would you like this? Would you like to try it? Would you like to buy it today? Have you thought about? All those open-ended questions that typically will come back with the no. The problem with us is that we don't realize the power we have with the words that we decide to use. And that's why I've always made it very specific when I talk to people when I'm selling. It's always about, this is what you need for your skin. This is what will help your skin. This will work for you because A, B, C, and D. We go the other way and just say, well, do you want to buy this today? Do you have enough money today? How much money do you have? Not even, to me, I've always focused on what the client needs and not about how much money it is or any of that. And I typically will not recommend. I will actually tell them this is what you need for your skin. The recommendation comes with the open-ended. So when you say that you're going to recommend a product, there is no definite close of a recommendation. A recommendation is a suggestion from you without them having to commit to anything. I always want my people to commit to it. So I'm going to tell them that this is what they need. That's it. So if they come back and say, you know, this is what's happened in my skin, or this is what happened when I saw you post wax, or all that other stuff, it was always suggested that was what for them. So if you take out the recommendation will always have that open-ended, well, you can buy it if you want to. The way I communicate is typically this is what you need. So, you know, it really was typically my assumption that most people cannot afford what I was selling. It wasn't until I was presented with a situation that I had to really change my mind all the way around. So from that point on, from that interaction on, even to now, I never assume people can afford or what they can't afford or what they can't afford. I'm going to show you everything and give you options. Because I think when you look at things in that way and then you take the assumption that your client can afford it, or you have products that you're selling that's too expensive for your clientele, you've already defeated the point of retail. The minute that you assume that your client cannot afford it, you've already shut yourself down as a sale. You really have. Absolutely. You want to see everyone and always assume that they wanted it. Absolutely. I always, now, everyone wants whatever I have. Whenever I talk about something, someone wants it. I'm not going to assume you only want one either. So I think probably, and you can't shop from your own pocket. Absolutely. You also have to have an even bigger mind. I think for me, that was the first time I had ever experienced someone talk about money so nonchalantly that I was shocked. It took me a while to get over the whole downstairs bathroom situation. And then when she would come back, she would laugh, because then I said, is your downstairs bathroom, you guys need a refill? And she's like, yep, I absolutely do. And it was hilarious. She brought her daughter in, and her daughter does the same thing. It was just, to me, so mind-boggling that I never, ever thought about selling or talking to customers in that way. And it's the same thing. I mean, I had a client that came in who I thought was just a hippie. And then when we went to check out, she gave me a Black American Express. And I said, and she left it up there like it was nothing and went on and walked around to buy some other stuff. So my point in saying these stories is that you really cannot assume that your customers can't afford what you have to offer. When you realize what we could do with our retail, you would do it. I love retail. I think retail to me is the easiest way to connect with people. It's the fastest way to get money when I need money. And it's also a way to continue to have open lines of communication. And that's the key. Now, do we have a lot of skincare lines out there? Absolutely. Do we as estheticians know what we're doing with skincare lines? No, not necessarily. I don't ever believe in spending a whole lot of money to commit to a skincare line. I just can't. Doesn't make any sense. We have too many new ones coming on all the time. And the old ones go away and they go directly to public anyway. So, you know, I could never commit to something where if it doesn't have my name on it, which is why I'm a big fan of private label, which is why I'm showing people how to private label and they're doing really well with it. It's because the only way I can commit and have my clients commit is if they come back to me to get it. If they can go to Amazon, eBay, or online to purchase it, it doesn't make sense for me to carry it and sell it. It just really doesn't. But I have been that way from the beginning of my career. And I saw certain things go that way because that is the nature of the beast. We can cry, we can moan, we can complain, we can do all kinds of stuff. However, that is the nature of the beast. We are used as betas. A skincare line will see how well it does, tweak it, change it, do whatever, and then just bypass us and go directly to public. That's just the nature of the beast. So when you know that up front, then you truly want to invest into something that your name can be on it and that they have to come back to you to get it. That's how you win. What I typically say when I see someone is, especially if I don't know them, let's say they come in and they're looking at the products and, you know, whatever, I don't know them. And I'll typically say, do you want your skin to continue to feel like it is, especially if they got out of a facial? Do you want your skin to continue to feel like this 2 or 3 weeks from now? Because if you do, this is what you need to do to maintain so that it does continue to look and feel that way. Most people won't say no to that. You read in Retail Trade magazine that for every product purchased, there's a 30% chance of a return. Absolutely. The other part of that too with Angela in the return, especially in the retail world, is because people don't know what they're getting, and what they're being sold is not what's great for their skin. And I truly believe there is not one product for every skin type. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. But there are certain companies I'm not going to name, but they have one product and they just sell it the hell out of it and think everybody can use it. The more they buy, the better chance they come back. Absolutely. And that's the key when you talk about retail sales, is that you are talking about making sure that it's for them. And that's the difference of your client going to a Macy's counter and them coming to your business. At a Macy's counter, no one is touching, talking, or discussing any skincare. They're typically talking about what's in the product. You're going to like it because the product going to make your skin feel like this, and this is what's, and, you know, they don't even talk about what's in it. I listened to them. I just said, oh my gosh. It's fabulous, honey. We've sold thousands of dollars of this. We've had high-end people come in. And one cleanser ain't going to do it either. Absolutely. Versus us estheticians taking the knowledge that we have and speaking on what their skin type is, speaking on what their skin condition is, speaking on the ingredients and what they're going to do in the skin. Very different. Very different. And that's why I really took that.